Hello everyone, welcome to my 7 years tutorial. This is going to be a long tutorial, so strap in and get ready because there are a lot of notes to take. Forewarning, I am not professionally trained in music, I taught myself, so if I use any incorrect terminology, I apologize. I have a basic understanding of music theory, so I feel like that will be enough to carry me through this video. But if I use any incorrect terminology, I apologize. So, let's get into it. So, to start, this song has 8 parts. Ta-da! And each part has its own variations and quirks and changes to the main parts of the melody, rhythm, and chords, and everything. And it takes a while and a lot of practice to get the hang of it. So, to start, let's get into part 1, which is the opening melody. Let's get into it. So, first we have B flat, going to A, going into G, going into F, and then we're going to be doing D, F, repeated 3 times. Easy. We're done with that. So next is the chords. These chords are used throughout the whole song, but these are going to be the variations for this part. So, in the song, we have G, most commonly played as G, B flat, and D. Near the end of the song, it's also played as a full chord. Let me play it right here. G, D, and G. We also have F modified slash A. The reason I call it F modified is because you can add the higher F if you wish, but I tend not to. Later on in the song, it's also played as a full A chord. A, E, A. This one's also played as A, C, with a higher F if you wish. Then we have B flat. B flat, D, F. This is also modified to be B flat modified. F, B flat, D. We also have E flat. E flat, G, B flat. Oh yeah, and also B flat can be played like this. B flat, F, B flat. E flat can be played as E flat. E flat, B flat, E flat. A lot of flats. Next, we have normal F. F, A, C, which can be played fully as F, C, F. And the last chord is D. We're going to be playing it mostly as D modified. F, A, D. But it's also played fully as D full. D, A, D. And those are all the chords in the song. But I'm going to be going through each part and specifying the variations of the chords as needed. So, for part 1, section 1 and 2, the chords are as follows. G, B flat modified, E flat, F, back up to G, B flat regular, E flat modified. I think I forgot to mention this one earlier, so it's just B flat, E flat, G. Those are the chords for sections 1 and 2 of part 1. So, it's going to sound like this for the opening melody. So now we're going into section 2 of part 1. This is going to be exactly the same, except for the right hand melody is going to be played as octaves. Very simple. And also introduced in this part is the chorus vocal melody. So let's get into that. It's a little complicated, but just follow through, take notes, practice, and you'll get the hang of it. To start, we have G. We're going to be doing F twice. Dropping down to D. Back up to F. Dropping down to C. Dropping down to B flat. That is section 1. Next is going to be low G, D, F, C, B flat. Then we're going to drop down to G again, up to D, and we're going to do 6 C's in a row. B flat, D, C, B flat. And then we're going to be going back to section 1 and repeating. Messed up a little bit, but when you're done with that, it's going to sound like this. And that is the chorus melody. So that ends part 1. Congratulations! You're done with 1 out of 8. So let's go into part 2. Part 2 is going to be basically the same, except for we're going to be changing some of the chords, replacing one of the melodies for the verse, and introducing the verse vocal melody. So, the chords for the verse part, as well as for the remainder of the song until the bridge, is going to be like this. G, A/F modified, B flat, dropping down to regular E flat, F, back to G. It's going to be doing that cycle for a good chunk of the song. Next is what I'd like to call the verse melody. This is just going to be replacing the first part of the song. So it's going to be played with the chords, and it's going to be B flat, a quick C, D, dropping down to G, going up to A, and returning to B flat. So the verse is going to sound like this. Easy. So next that is introduced is the verse vocal melody. So let's get into this. It's going to be one of the more complicated parts of the songs. It's played very quickly, and there's a lot of variation depending on what part of the song it is, since the song isn't consistent in what words are spoken when, as in the syllables of the lines in the verse. So there's going to be some variations, but it's going to roughly sound like this. We're going to start with 2 B flats. This can change, but more often than not 2 B flats. Going to C, to D, back to C, back to B flat. Then we're going to do it again with a slight variation. 2 B flats, a C, a D, up to F, dropping down to C, and then B flat. And then we're going to be doing the last part of the verse. So it's going to be B flat twice, varies, going to go to C, D, C, B flat, right back to C, right back to D, right back to C, back to B flat, one more time, C, D, now we're going up to F, C, and B flat. So it's going to sound like this. that is repeated however many times is needed for the verse. But, here's the but. This is not played during this part of the song, part 2, section 1. Part 2, section 1 has a verse alternate. And this plays exactly the same, except for the last part, section 3, is repeated 3 times in a row. So it's going to sound like this. A lot of repetition, but that's just how the song is. So now we are going into section 2 of part 2. And this is just the chorus as we played it earlier. Whoops. That part played with our chords that we were introduced. And for the first half of the chorus, we are going to be continuing the verse melody. Until right here, right when we're going to go to F, instead of playing this A note, we are going to be going up and playing the original melody. But we have another alternate version. This is the only time that this melody is played. So, instead of repeating back up to the melody, we are going to be doing a variation, which goes the same melody as played before, but instead of stopping there, we're going to be doing D, F 2 more times, and then changing it up. So it's going to go D, G, D, A, D, and then B flat, A, and G. That's the only time that that is played, and congratulations, you just completed part 2. On to part 3 and 4. They are basically identical with only one variation, and I will get to that. So, for part 3, we have the verse, all of that is the same, except for this part you are not playing the verse alternated, you're just playing the regular verse, which doesn't have this part repeated 3 times in a row. So, now, from that, you go into the chorus, again, on the F chord at the end of the verse. You're going to play the melody through the chorus. And then, it's going to go back to the verse. When going from the chorus to the verse, you do not play F again. You skip over F, go from E flat, pause, straight to G, back into the verse. When you're going from the verse to the chorus, you do play that F. So the only variation that plays during these 2 parts is at the end of the chorus in part 4, which is section 2 of part 4. This, at the end of the chorus, instead of repeating section 1 of the chorus, we are going to be doing a variation. This goes G, G, A, B flat, A, G, and F. And that ends parts 3 and 4. You are halfway done with the song, but unfortunately it's about to get a lot more complicated. Part 5 is going to go into the slow part. Instead of going back to the verse, we're going to be repeating the chorus yet again. So it's going to be repeating the melody once again for the chorus, except for at this part, since it's part 5, we're going to change it up and bring in the octaves again. Besides that, everything is the same. The chorus melody is playing, and chords are the same. Once that is done, we are going to the slow version of the verse. Oh, by the way, this part, section 5, is all slow, so there isn't going to be any no repetitions of chords playing to the beat of the song. It's just going to be single chords. So, for the slow verse, instead of repeating what we normally do, it's going to be a little bit different. So we're going to be playing G with the B flat from the melody. Instead of going to the F modified and the C, we're going to be skipping straight over that to B flat. Then, besides that, everything is the same. And same thing with the verse. The verse is going to be mostly the same. But right at this part, at the end of that verse, we're going to be introducing a change. We're going to be playing a B flat as octaves. You can introduce the F if you want. And then we're going to be playing the new chord progression for this part of the song, which is going to be E flat, a quick F, into G, F, D modified, back up to E flat, and then the beat changes. Instead of going, it's going to be more spread out. To recap, when the verse ends during section 5, it's going to bleed directly into part 6, which is what we're on right now. And so that's part 6 starts right at this B flat low chord and this F note. And then during part 6, which is the shortest part in the whole song, we're going to be playing this new chord progression. Now, for this part, which I just played, the song really picks up pace, so what I do is instead of playing them as spread notes, as regular notes, or a regular chord I should say, I spread it out. 2 octaves down here, and then for the D, the same thing, 2 octaves down here. And then, as it bleeds into part 7, I'm going to be doing a traveling chord. I don't know how to describe it really, or if it has a proper name, but basically it's just going to be playing each of the individual notes of a full chord, as I call it, one at a time, following the beat. So, like that. It's going to be that same progression. But that's part 7. We are not done with part 6 yet. Part 6 brings about a new quote-unquote verse melody, except for it's a melody that plays behind the bridge chorus. So, this melody goes like this, starting with the F at the end of the verse in part 5. We're going to go to E flat, go up to A, B flat, A, and then when it goes to D modified, it's going to go back up to B flat. Then, as we go back to E flat, it's going to drop down to G. We're going to go A, B flat, and then right here when the song starts to pick up pace, we're going to be playing G and A at the same time. not quite sure why, but you can actually listen closely and you can hear that in the original song, the conflicting notes. I guess it just adds a little bit of voice to the song. I can't really describe it in any other way, but that's what happens. So, now that that alternate melody is done, the alternate chord progression has been played, let me show you the bridge chorus vocal melody. So, it's going to be the same thing to start. But then, everything goes haywire. So now we're going to go G, D, F, C, and then there's a lot of C's. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 D in the middle of that, 10, 11, 12 C's. So don't bother counting, kind of just play to the words of the song. So it's going to sound like this. Then we're going into the next part. Very quickly from that, it's going to go B flat, D, C, B flat, A. Now, right here in my cover, I added a G just to make it sound kind of like it's flowing nicely through the chords, but this is optional. Played quickly, this whole section is going to sound like this. That G at the end is optional. Then, continuing on, we're going to have B flat, C, D, C, B flat, A, B flat. 2 B flats, C, D, C, B flat. Then we're going to go into some octaves. You won't be able to fully see what I'm doing up here. Actually, you kind of can. And we're going to do some Fs. So it's going to be 6 Fs, 4 Ds, 2 Cs, and then 2 B flats. And that ends part 6. We're almost there. Now to part 7. Here's where things get a little chaotic on the chord side of things. So, we are now playing full-size chords. Let me actually zoom out just so you can easier see what I am up to down here. So now we're going to be playing the chord progression of part 6, the bridge chord progression, if you will. And that is going to bleed into the first half of part 7, and then it is going to change back to our original chord progression. So to start, we have E flat, quick F into G, F, D, B, back to E flat, a quick F into a G, cut half short, going straight back to E flat. Gonna play that a little bit before going back to F very quickly, and then back to G. And then at this point, we are back to our original chord progression. I'm playing this all off beat. It's not actually in time to how the song plays, just because I'm trying to explain it as quickly as possible. I'll go through it right now. So, it's a lot to take in, but it's gonna sound roughly like this. Oh, by the way, for the right hand during this part of when it goes into the choruses of part 7, the chords are going to be played with the right hand now. So to start, we have E flat, and we're going to go from there. Going down to E flat, but up here we're going to be playing that E flat modified. It should sound a little bit like that. Again, I'm not playing with the song, so I don't have the rhythm exact, but that's what the chord progression is going to sound for part 7. But we're not quite done because we just finished up with the vocal melody for part 6. So now we're going to part 7. For part 7, it starts with the exact same chorus that we've been playing throughout the whole song, except for in octaves. Then we're going to be playing the variation that we played in part 4. And then we are going into what I like to call the final chorus. So this is going to be the last variation of the chorus melody. It's going to sound like that. I'm going to play it right here just so it's a little bit easier to see. Actually, you can see it. It's fine. I'll zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so it is going to be playing G, G, A, B flat 4 times, G 3 times, back up to B flat 4 times, G 3 times again, B flat 3 times, A 4 times, down to G, back up to A, back up to B flat. And then we're repeating the same variation at the end of the alternate chorus in part 4. So it's going to sound like this. But we're not quite done because there is also a original melody playing in the background of this chorus. So at the end of section 1 of part 7, which is what we're on right now, the melody comes back as octaves. I don't know how a normal piano player will be able to incorporate that with everything else going on unless they did the way I did, which is with multiple takes and then mixing them together, but that also plays in the background. Then, finally, we are here. Part 8. Whew, okay, so now we're going to be going into the chorus plus the melody once again. This time it is not going to be in octaves, it's just going to be in regular notes, and the chorus is going to be playing the normal chorus that we've been playing throughout the whole song, not the variation at the very beginning. You can add in that little quick F modified /A if you want to. I messed that up. Then the chorus is going to be playing the same as it was. And then we're getting to the finale. It's super easy. It's just the same chorus, the same melody, the same chords, but we're only doing half of it. So it's going to go G, F modified /A, B flat to end the song. Melody's going to go down to C, down to B flat. And the chorus is going to go the first part of the chorus. And all the notes are going to land on these. And that is how you play 7 Years. It is quite the song. I make it look easy in my cover, but it took me many days to get the hang of it. From learning the song, figuring out how to play it, finding all the little intricacies, playing those, taking notes. I did like 3 drafts of my notes. I've done 3 takes of this tutorial just because it's so beefy. But it's a really good song when you figure out how to play it. So, thank you for joining me on this endeavor. I hope that it helps you, since I know a lot of the other tutorials on YouTube are pretty lame and don't really get all the intricacies, so I'm hoping that I covered everything. If I forgot anything, I will leave a description in the description, and hopefully this will be able to help you out in learning to play this song. If you like this, please let me know by liking the video. Leave a comment if you have any questions. I answer pretty quickly, and I hope that you have a great day and good luck.